Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to create trim sheets for a floor panel, and I'm not going to use the upcoming feature for creating flow, which is uh, the one where you can create center symmetry for selected faces. So for example, this is the normal symmetry with the draw object inheriting the origin point of the source object. You can, of course, with the upcoming update, you can C and then control C. You can set the symmetry line to this space here. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to show you a way where you can use these techniques to the separate sections of the trim sheet to establish the symmetry. Go ahead and do a plane. So trim sheets is a very complicated subject, and especially if you are working with production pipeline that involves a lot of people. So, but in this case, you have a lot more freedom if you are just, of course, using it for your own project, and you can, of course, measure the trim sheet section. So you can turn on the measuring here and edge length right here. And when you select an edge, you see the measurement. So 1 meter, uh, 1 by 2 meters here. And you can just subdivide by 2 to create those sections. And just avoid duplications later on. So I'm going to turn that off and just use subdivision of 2 to create those sections. So the sections I'm going to use here is this and this, and then this and this. And yeah, just those this one and this two, just to oh yeah, just this 1 and 2, just to keep it simple. Okay, so select this face and separate by selection, and this one as well. Oh, this one. So just this two here is going to be our trim sheet, and the mirror in the x-axis. Set the geometry to set the origin to geometry. Oops. Before you mirror, you set the origin to the geometry, and then you mirror. And this one as well. Set origin to geometry, and then you mirror. Now we can build our detail. So actually, in this case, I'm going to mirror the y-axis as well. Also this. So just to keep the exercise simple, I'm going to draw the detail. Just a simple floor panel detail, nothing too fancy. And set press B to get rid of the faces in the center line. And then just control drag and set the inset depth lower. Okay. And so really simple detail. This one probably going to create this and set an array middle. Again, insert towards the mesh. Then we're going to add the array. So this is just strips of horizontal bars. Then we're just going to eyeball the space between the mesh. And the symmetry line, I mean. There we go. So this is our floor. Let's just add some more stuff here. Okay, so I'm going to create a bevel. This edges here, uh, or just this edge is mirrored. Control Shift R. There we go. And bring this down to create some sort of separation line. Okay. Create a line there and set this down. There we go. Then this strip here, which is going to the side of which is going to be the side panel of this floor here. So just the gutter, sort of like the gutter area. So I'm pretty new to the trim sheets workflow as well. So when I started researching about it, uh, it's not that simple. I thought it was really simple, but the number of ways that you can execute it is, you know, then I'm going to create a line in the middle with these faces selected. So the cut isolates to those faces and then just insert. Go. So some uh, just something really simple and repeating texture. So in this case, you can bevel this, but you can create an edge, right? This create an edge from a terminator edge using Control Shift R, and you press E to sort of straight like the source edge, straight middle line here, just slowly. You do this. You need some margin. Let's try it here. There we go. Okay, so do we need some more? And so I'm planning a sort of like this kind of structure to like demo demo this. So probably this one is for this, and need to create another one for this center surface. So to save this trim sheet number 9, go here and that, select this, and then set origin to geometry, and then we're going to mirror that the x and y axis. So just something simple. If you are just learning about this, you can just start. You can experiment with something really simple. Um, we need some integrate boundary edge. With the margin. So this part here, It's gonna add some more simple detail. So creative flow can do booleans, but in this case, the the draw feature is will be, I think, is faster. There we go. And let's probably put something in this here. Okay, and maybe screen spacing is too much. It's already too tight. So going to let's finish this right here. So I'm still looking for a way to for an add-on that can do the PBR shading or a way to just do it with the add-ons that I have. But right now we're just going to skip the texturing and probably just do vertex color to break the monotony of the uniform color. Run the vertex color and then just dirty. Use this and then just dirty the vertex color. I don't dirty the okay. Yeah. Probably maybe it's gets too dark for the yeah, and just control this with our with a current node. So in this case, we're going to fix this by just the you can see there's still error in the this is just the way the vertex color works. The more vertex that you have, the more precise the color is versus using it for that inground. So in this case, we're just going to manually set it using uh, using Creative Flow. You know, Set can draw a line and oops, probably just highlight the face and then set a vertex color to it that is saturated. Right here also, probably just this. There, now we can make this. Not yet. Let's go to materials, new. Just use the emission shader. Probably not, just the diffuse shader. Then we're going to use the vertex color that we made. What it looks like. Then just copy the materials over to the other meshes. There we go. Now select every mesh and then go to baking, dribble bake. So normal AO displacement and diffuse, lowest geometry for the duplication, big origin is plane, big to last images, 1084 by 1084, just for speeding up process of the video. And then we're going to bake, go to images, bake, just wait. Okay, this is our displacement, diffuse, AO. So we're gonna set this up, and we're just going to set. I'm going to create a plane to just set the maps correctly in the shader. Color, mix color. So this will be our diffuse, big diffuse. Then here is going to be our AO, and then connect it here, multiply probably by 0.6. And then the normal map is in the normal. And we're going to make it work using the normal map node. And then we have the change this to big normal. So color space is supposed to be non-color for normal and displacement. Just remember that. Make them display properly. And here we're going to use displacement. So we're not going to connect it. We're not going to connect it yet. We're just going to view the model using the other maps. And to make the displacement work, we can connect it, but just use the bump. Yeah. But if you want subdivision to work on the displacement, you can go ahead and go to the material in the properties tab, and in the settings, check set this to displacement only or displacement and bump. But to make the okay, 0 still 1. So if the resulting uh, detail is too sharp, just use displacement only instead of displacement and bump. So in this case, we're just going to set it to displacement bump, and we have this. Now we're gonna actually cut this out. This. Let's go to material preview. Go to faster. Set the lost it options, edit mode, and set the correct face attribute. So when you move this, the UV map doesn't move with it. Okay. There we go. And then you can just, I think, duplicate. No, duplicate this. For example, if you just want that part, you can invert the selection and can model it like this, like by pieces. So that's another way to do this. So shift the object mode, then reverse, go to cycles. Then you can array this like that. In this case, we're just going to freeform plane. Now we know that this is just the plane cut in half, and we're going to set the origin to geometry and create our gutter here. So we might need to squash the UV just a bit to fit the texture if we're working this way, but be sure to not overdo it. So the texture looks natural. Going to change the HDRI just to let me see this part over here. Okay, this part here is we're going to set the material to this. Okay, and immediately we have the correct detail for this one. So just this one. And we're going to go to UVs and set the image to our diffuse, and our face is that. Where's that? There we go. And then it may actually this might have been a mistake. We should have just set this as continuous line here to make it infinite, but you know, hindsight. Okay, so let me just cut it in two. Maybe that's better. And then them. Let me see. UV token and stack the two faces together. Stack similar. It's not working. Okay. Need to separate them. Just go to separate them like this. Mark seam. Then selecting the faces here and wrap. Stack similar. The unwrap process we need to reset. There we go. And stack. And they are just in the same place. And then we're going to place them here. Fix this area. Our gutter. We have an offset right here, but let's see. Kind of tricky placing them. There's no. I forgot I didn't put the texture on that. Or maybe what? There should have been details on that, but it's gone. Okay, this one here. Unwrap. Unwrap. Who's doing that? It's doing this weird thing here. It's also connected, but they have a seam in this area. Seam. There we go. So It's there. Back, just set it to. Wondering why there's no color there. There should be color here. There we go. So why is the other face have an offset? Because they are something like that. We need to find the other one and rotate it 180 degrees. There we go. Just to match them up. There we go. Then what we can do is we just change the HDRI to better have a better you know, appreciation of the shader. And then we can mirror this the, in the y-axis. Probably go back to shader and put in some metallic look in there. So yeah. And then much better. Yeah. Then you can set an array to this, generate an array, and you have a nicely detailed floor array. It's not going to be very heavy in your skin because these are just big texture. You can go freely with the resolution on the trim when you're making the trim sheet, but when you're finally using the textures, it will be much lighter. So this also needs a bit of planning. So, or you can just trust with you can just go with the measurements. For example, if you're doing like trim sheets for crates, you need like this. You need to figure out beforehand how big the crates are. So 1 meter by 1 meter, for example, and you can also scale that up to be 2 meters by 2 meters because general just squares. So you can use that area in the trim sheet or something more rectangular. So you have for in one side a rectangular area, you have a trim sheet data for that, and then on the north south, which is more square, you have detail on that, and then you can have in the edges or in the margins of you have details again for those. So that will be those thin strips. So you can create a bunch of that repeating textures and also unit textures. Okay, so let's try it with let's bring this down to probably just one. Let's try it with displacement. In this case, we're just going to simple and bringing this up after the before the array. Disable optimal display so we can see the wireframe right here. Go to materials and set the displacement to displacement only. We need this just means that we need more subdivision in order to release. So something like 7. 6, we already have the detail. And in this case, we just need to uh, play around with the scale because I think it's too much. Something like zero point 0.4. No, so that is the resolution. Maybe we can go to 6. So 6 is possible. You can still do it, but it will should be rendered like at a distance. But 7, you already have the needed resolution for um correctly. Let's just change mode this. There we go. So 7 is good. I think 7 is the minimum, and 8 would be the highest. This is the resolution. So you render this if you use displacement again if this was closer to your render and you need more details. Otherwise, if it's far away or um, you want the scene to be light, then just forego using displacement. Okay, so this is with displacement. This is without displacement. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, without displacement. Still looks like it has displacement. And this. So this is just with the normal and AO, and as you can see, we already have rates. And combined with the lighting, you can really bring out those details from the normal map, and even just forego using the displacement. So let's just in go. And before we end this video, I'm going to try something. And I still remember to do it correctly. I don't know if there's an add-on for this. So curve easier that we origin to that. Set origin to cursor. Then go here. Generate form curve. Select our curve object. This the one. Form curve. Yeah, I think that's the one. But isn't there supposed to have like settings for the placement of the placement of the it's because of the need more geometry for the curve to work on. Let's give it that. Scale, probably don't scale. So I forgot how to do this. Shift course selection to cursor shift offset. There we go. There we go. That's the one that I'm missing. You need to place it on the curve. Okay. So bit of a problem in this area, but maybe we could subdivide the curve. No, we need to actually subdivide the geometry. Simple. What is above the curve? That's the idea. can let's add more. Let's add more topology. Yeah, we're gonna have to do this properly, but can use it on a curve and features the array in this case. So you have a path or uh, flat, flat, a path that is textured using trim sheets. Okay, so let's just hide this. So that is our trim sheets. And using this method, you can build a library of your own. So you have trim sheets for this kind of dimension, for the floor, for the panels, for the side panels, and then the ceiling. And then you'd have uh, then create another. So this is 1 meter by 2 meters. So you can create another one for a bigger path, which is 2 meters by 4 meters. Is that correct? 2 meters by 2 meters, yeah, not 2 meters by 4 meters. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of trenches video lately, and I've been learning a lot. So it's not that it can be simple if you know what to do, and it can also be very complicated depending on what project you're doing. You can use it for environments, sci-fi stuff like this, and all other kinds. So yeah, and if you have any questions, use the comment section below or the links in the description. Also, if you want better support, join our Discord community. Okay. Again, subscribe, like, comment, share. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.